So I've gone over how to access city demographics. I've gone over the taper. Now in this last one, I'm going over how to interpret the discipline data for each one of your ISDs. Again, I provided the direct link, so you can click on that link. It will take you again to the TEA website. And what you're looking for is the annual district summary for a selected district. So we've been going with Irving. Let's go with Irving again. You're going to type the name down there in the box. Oops, wrong box. Sorry, it's like that's not right. There we go. There's Irving ISD. So if that happens to you, you know you need to go box up. So this is going to give us the discipline data for the 2015-2016 school year. And so it's going to give us some cumulative populations and some discipline trends. But what I want you to start looking at is down here at Part C. So JJAEP expulsions is to a juvenile justice alternative program, and so students who are sent there who've had serious major infractions and have been expelled from school, and so those are usually run by county. So that's broken down by race. We see that not any white, not any black or African American, but we see 15 Hispanic or Latino students who were expelled to JJAP. And again, that's telling us kind of the same thing about the expulsion. Then we see DAEP placements. Those are usually district-based. That's the Disciplinary Alternative Education Program. And so sometimes those are for other mandatory reasons and disciplinary actions. So it could be a combination of two different things. And so again, it's going to break it down by race. So we see 459 Hispanic, 155 Black, 6 Asian, 9 American Indian, 5 2 or more races, and white 69. Then we've got out of school suspensions, which means that you're not in this DAEP placement, but you're suspended for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. In school suspensions, or frequently referred to as ISS. And then they break it down by special education students. And one of the reasons why is they're required to. Special education students have to go through what's called a manifestation determination. So you do have to report out separately special education students by disciplinary action. And then they've also reported out by economically disadvantaged students, which is also kind of interesting to look at, and at risk, which each state defines what at risk means. It could mean that you failed a grade. It could mean that you're pregnant. It could mean that you've failed the STAR. So there's various reasons, state by state, that you could be at risk. But then it gives you a little bit a different picture of why students may have been suspended or placed in alternative programs. So we see felony, none, controlled substances, alcohol violations, public lewdness, looks like 9 there, weapon, local code of conduct, which is going to be primarily what you see is that they've violated some sort of code of conduct. But it's kind of interesting to see maybe what those offenses were that required the expulsion or the placement. And then it gives you kind of by total count. So you see that the total count of out-of-school suspensions was 2,500, 14 to JAP, 63 in school suspensions. But because we're looking at race and achievement, and one of the things that Kozel's book talks about is the disparity of disciplinary actions, that's why I want you to focus on the ones that give you the disciplinary action by race to see if there is some sort of disparity. Now, just like we were talking about with some of the other things, if Irving, you recall, is 77% Hispanic, what we should see is, similar numbers here. Or if it's 10% white, we should see about 10% of those total expulsions also being white. We shouldn't see there a disparity between races and discipline. It should mirror the demographics that we're seeing reflected inside the school district. So you can't just look at the data and say, okay, here's the data for the data's sake. You have to see, what is the story telling you? Does it match up with some of the other things that I'm seeing and I'm reading? So you can't just take statistics at face value, but this gives you a little bit better picture about what kind of disciplinary actions are happening at each one of those districts.